Welcome back to another episode of NFT Catcher Podcast. We'd like to remind everybody that nothing on the show is meant as financial advice, and to please do your own research. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now the subject is NFTs.
They're known as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs are exploding in popularity.
This is a technology that will forever change the way people interact.
So it is happening whether you understand it and like it or not.
This phenomenon is moving. The digital.
You have now joined Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keene on the NFT Catcher Podcast.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NFT Catcher Podcast with me, Jenny from the blockchain, and my co-host, Michael Keene. For today's interview, we have the one and only ArinaBB Art, a multimedia artist who's been selling NFTs of her work since 2020 and has collaborated with big brands like L'Oreal and Time Magazine, and has recently dabbled into AI art as well. Arina, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you guys?
We are great. We're super pumped to have you on. I have actually been following you for quite a while on Twitter. And one of the things I really love about you is that you always post videos of you kind of like, I guess, documenting the process of you creating an artwork or like painting. And I love that. I think that's super fun and cool. And yeah, I'm also, I was telling you about this too recently, but, and I've just been moving kind of a lot, but I really want to get one of your prints. I think I'm going to get the Between Moscow and New York poster. That one's like my favorite one, I'd say. So, but yeah, excited to have you on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's like warms my heart to hear it, that you connected. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I love like the colors, like the green and the like pinkish red, like that color combination looks nice. And the style, of course. But Michael, let's loop you in here.
That's all good. What's up? Hello, Arina. Nice to meet you. Nice to have you. I've been for the last few days going over all your stuff, learning about you and everything. So as much as I can. I'm excited to chat it up. I'm really happy to have Jenny back hosting the interview. It's really nice to hear you ladies chat it up. Glad to have you. Let's get into it. I know.
Yeah. So first of all, we're curious how you got into NFTs. This is always kind of our first question with our guests. You know, what got you into Web3? How did you get into NFTs?
Well, I've been doing art for past 8 years, and I've always tried to take approach as do completely different things. So I'm doing art as my job, and I'm just trying to study like economics. And then at some point in 2019, I got really into stock and like a stock market. And that was my huge inspiration for 2019 for my art. And some of my friends, they created an app. It was like a Twitter, but for stocks only. So people would tweet on that app anything stock related, and somebody just mentioned that they have invite for a clubhouse, and I was like, let me try it out. And when I joined the clubhouse through that invite from a person that I don't even know, but we afterwards connected, and I even sent him my NFT because I was so grateful. I told him my NFT journey started because of your generosity with the clubhouse invites, because there I heard there was so many wonderful rooms that were educating step by step how to create a MetaMask wallet, how to just start out. And that was very helpful factor, because back in, so I joined in 2020, but prior to this, about 6 months ago, I heard about NFTs and I heard about Nifty Gateway, but I could not figure out I did not see application thingy on the app. So I kind of dismissed it and I didn't really dive into that deep. But when I joined the clubhouse and people were explaining so well on how to do all these little steps, I immediately connected, and it was very nice because I felt that community was so strong, and it was at that time very, very art driven. The huge thing was we're supporting artists, we pay royalties. And that was such a huge and new concept to me that it got me very, very excited. And I thought that's a great space, and more time I spent there, more I chatted and more I learned about the Web3, more excited I got. And now I'm still here and not planning to leave ever, I guess, because it's just so awesome.
That's awesome. Those early clubhouse days were incredible for sure. You were there a little bit earlier than me. I got there in like March of 2021 on the Clubhouse. Yep.
Yeah, Clubhouse was definitely, I feel like, a lot of people's like beginning days it wasn't for me, but yeah, a lot of our guests are like, oh yeah, Clubhouse is what got me started.
It's like a good nostalgia for everyone, I feel like, because at that time it was almost like naive type of thing because you didn't know what to expect. And it was just so nice and it felt safe and not as overwhelming as it is right now.
Yep.
So I feel very fortunate to join that like earlier and not right now. For instance, I can't even imagine what newcomers are going through right now with all the different scams and overwhelming amount of information. It's just crazy.
Totally.
People were a lot more like helpful, and also like I think there was more of a sense of like community and like we're in this together and there's not that many of us and you know we need to kind of stick together versus I think you know nowadays people have kind of pitted against each other and you know just all this drama and stuff that happens. But anyway, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah. No, so you got an invite to Clubhouse not knowing about NFTs, not going there for NFTs, and you kind of stumbled upon it. And you were like, I'm an artist and NFTs, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Who were some of the OGs you were listening to back then? Was it like Lady Phoenix? Who was in that early crowd?
The room that educated me the most was the NFT.tips.
Yeah, I know Alexander and Glassy.
And
yep.
Alexander,
know those guys very well.
Yeah, and they also hosted one of the first, I think, IRL NFT meetups in New York City, and I joined it too, and it was very nice. I wonder, I have not heard, I thought they're gonna transition to Twitter Spaces and gonna be on the front line, so I was very surprised to not see them. But I know for a fact there's so many people, when you start chatting about how you got onboarded, so many people are extremely grateful to them because they were, it would get to the point where I would like create a wallet and some stupid thing, like stupid thing that you want to ask, the most basic thing, you would just go join and ask and somebody will explain to. I mean, at the time also there were not as much resources as it is right now. There wasn't any YouTube tutorials
there was nothing. Yeah, for sure.
So having this community of people to whom you can reach out and ask anything was really nice.
I was in that room every morning, the Alexander's room, 9 a.m. Eastern or whatever. I was always in there.
Do you know what happened? Do you know why they have not joined the Twitter Spaces?
I don't really know. I saw those guys last year in Miami at the Miami Metaverse Week, which is actually coming up again, or Miami NFT Week, whatever they call it. And they were happy, doing well, like running around, but I guess they're not really public with what they're doing at the moment. I was hanging out with Glassy and Alexander, so I don't know.
That's so crazy. It's like they're little angels behind the scenes. They kickstarted everything. They pushed it, and they're like, our mission is over now. We are gonna be doing stuff behind the scenes. That's nice.
That guy Eric Spivak is still. You remember him? Motivate.
Yeah,
he's still on. He's on Twitter Spaces. You'll hear him chatting it up.
Yeah, but it's still a little different versus them, like,
they don't have
their brand and like running as a
they should have for sure.
I feel like they'll get so much support.
That was a big group.
Also, so you had also said that 6 years ago you kind of became and you started really like selling your artwork and everything. When did you decide to be a full-time artist? Like that was what you're going to do full-time. Was that when you got into NFTs or was that before?
It was before, and it also came by some sort of accident, I would say. I guess this approach definitely helped me, and it still helps me to not be stressed out of being an artist when time goes like slow and you have a slow, hard month. Because being an artist, it's always 1 month it can be extra good, and another is super slow, and then it's a roller coaster. When I started out, I was just painting home for the first 2 years. And I did not even think of becoming an artist. I was just painting for myself. And then it got to the point where I had so many canvases home. And I got advised that maybe you should do an exhibition. And me and my friends, it was in Shanghai. I was studying Chinese at the time. And I was just having a bunch of part-time jobs and just trying to survive. And I saved up money and did very immersive, very raw. Now looking back at it, exhibition with like bunch of neon lights, installations that you can come and interact with. Like I did a ginormous ear, and person can come up and like whisper their pain or struggle that they're going through, and there was a marker, and they can like put little black dot or write whatever they want. And my goal was that hopefully when they walk out of the room, they're going to feel a little bit better, and the ear going to take your pain away. And it was like a very white one, and at the end it turned black because everyone would sign on it or write down something or just put a dot. So this type of things. And I did a lot of videos about this space, and some of them went viral there, and so it attracted lots of people. So this kind of gave me a start, and I realized that wow, I can make money on my art and pay bills with it. With this exhibition, I sold some pieces, but it did not, I was still negative, let's say, because the amount of money I spent to put it all together was so much, and it did not fully paid off, but it still gave me a realization that, wow, you, if you market it correctly, if you just kind of budget it right, you can sell your stuff. And that's how it all started for me. At the time I was still taking part-time jobs, but then I did another exhibit a year or half a year later, and the same thing, and that one performed a little bit better. And all of a sudden I decided to move back to New York, back to States. I wasn't living in New York then, but my family is in Texas. So I kind of just left Shanghai and started over from scratch in New York. And I was focusing mostly on creating a visual content about me painting. And I never expected art fully to pay my bills. I was always ready to take any part-time job, and it did not bother me because I believe that anything you do can inspire you. And those random part-time jobs can give you so much different perspective that you will never get if you just sit home and do only art. And I'm very grateful that I had this experience. And but with the time, it got to the point where I would get just too many commissions, and it would be just fully art only. And that's how I slowly transitioned to just becoming a full-time artist, where it's just only art. Wow. And that was a crazy period, because I remember it was in the 3 months, I painted 70 pieces, 70 huge canvas. Yeah, I'm like looking at back at this time now. I just moved to New York. I didn't really know anybody there. I was pretty inspired because I would just go to the musicals, go to do my part-time jobs, and then when it just got too many commissions, I would just paint, go to musicals, go to post office, send my art, and just like go to Chipotle, eat some Chipotle, go back home and paint. And then when I decided to update my website, I was like, okay, let me just put everything that I did within this time and just post these paintings that already sold. And as I upload images, I'm like, wow, that's over 70 paintings. It's so now I just know if I have to paint a lot, I can. And but that just insane to me how I did it. But that's the thing, I guess, because you don't really think about it, that it's wow, it's so much, because I did not have anything to compare it to, because I did not have anybody to talk about it with. So it would be just me and recording videos of myself painting, posting it online. Then one of those paintings go viral, and then people just asking if they can buy a painting. So then I paint again, and it just kind of this huge loop. And yeah, that was very nice, very crazy.
What year was that? Did that take place? Of
2018. Okay. And then I decided that I wanted to do an exhibit in New York, but in New York City, the stuff that I wanted to do will be so pricey. It's going to be like tens of thousands of dollars, and I realized that I need to stop selling the paintings in order to at least save 10 of them or like 20 of them, so I can put them in exhibit. So I stopped accepting commissions, and I took a part-time job so I can work again and save money, so I can save paintings and the money to do an exhibit. And then COVID hit. So that kind of just the idea disappeared, and I discovered NFT space around this time. So that evolved.
How did you end up in Shanghai? You lived in Shanghai for a while? I'm sorry, Jennifer. I'll let you. We got to get our cadence back
No,
down. We
you're
got to
good,
get our
you're good.
cadence back.
So it just I was born in Russia, in Moscow,
Okay.
and when I was 15, I started modeling, and I modeled for a couple of years. I had my modeling agency there, and then my family moved to Texas, and then it's small town, and then after modeling in Texas, I was working in Whataburger. So it was very weird to go from like a runway shows to working in the fast food. I was like, okay. But then when I graduated at high school, I graduated earlier because I wanted to just move away because small town wasn't for me at the time. I felt very uncomfortable. So I just wanted to graduate. And now I feel so sad because I never get to experience prom and just normal, peaceful this thing. And I really, really, really wished I wasn't rushing life and just kind of took my time, because I finished entire 12th grade I took like online classes, and from May, June, and middle of July, I finished entire year in 2 months.
Oh, wow.
So I was just so ready to go. And after I did that, I went to Moscow and just talked to my agent, and they kind of said, if you want, you can go to Shanghai. We have a contract there for a couple months. So when I went to Shanghai, I realized I really, really love the city. To this day, I think Shanghai is pretty awesome. And after living in New York, after living in Moscow, Shanghai was just so much fun, and they're so technologically evolved. Like New York is a couple years behind on so many different things. So it was a really nice experience, and I was just modeling there, but I wasn't sure what I want to study at the time because I wasn't painting, I wasn't an artist. I did not know what I wanted to learn, and studying in America is so expensive, and I wanted to make sure that if I do get student loans, I at least study something that I truly love. And I thought I'd give myself like a year, and to not waste this year, I thought I should study Chinese while I'm in China. I thought might as well. So I went to universities there, and just ended up staying there 3 years because I really loved it, and I thought it's really interesting, and my university was very good. But again, out of nowhere, just woke up one day and felt as I need to go back home, and I felt like I found something that I truly love to do, and it was art. And I realized that I can evolve my career within that space, and I kind of did everything I possibly could do in Shanghai with this, because I already had multiple exhibitions. I had a gallery there, so it was enough. And I was like, okay, bye. So I woke up and I dropped out of university there, and just went back to the States. And still, I kind of want to go back to school here eventually, hopefully one day, because I want to study economics. But not yet. So that was my journey in Shanghai.
I like that. That sounds like a great city. I really do want to go to China, but I've always hesitated because like there's so many places to go. I want to have like a long time to go there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No. If you go there, it's definitely a couple weeks, a month type of trip, because there is just so much to see. There's so much culture there. It's a whole different world from America. It's a whole different. It feels like you're going to a different planet.
Yeah. For sure. I bet it is. When you say it's technologically advanced, like you're totally right. I've been to Japan and I mean, it's definitely a whole nother way. New York feels like it's like 30 years behind a lot of those places.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
It does. Like when I just moved to New York, this like online payments, QR codes, that was in China like 10 years ago, like 5 years ago. It was just so everyday life there, versus in New York, it was just slowly starting to become a thing. And like also the way food delivery works in China, like in the middle of the night, you can get anything, versus in New York at the time, it still was not as easy.
No doubt.
Yeah, I feel like that is very adventurous to go from, first of all, like finishing high school so quick and then deciding, okay, I want to, jumpstart my modeling career, moving to a completely different country. Like, did you move by yourself or were you with just by yourself? That's crazy.
At like
I
18,
was
19 years
alone.
old. Yeah, that is pretty crazy over to Shanghai.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I just turned 18. Again, my thing is sometimes I called it like being in the wave, like getting these waves, like being in the zone. I don't know what it is, where I don't really understand what's happening. I just do things like very impulsively. I do things. And then like months later, or like in my case right now, years later, I look back at it. I'm like, whoa, that was what? Because again, I just didn't have anything to compare it to, because I'm very often so much in my head, which is very good and very bad at the same time. And it's just almost leave like no room of fear in some sort of like questioning, because it's like, I just go. I mean, what's gonna happen? I'm like, I'm by myself. If I need a part-time job, I'm gonna get a job. So it's like, I don't have a child or anybody to take care of, just me. Yep. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I always say travel is the best thing for young people. It provides so much perspective you can never get without leaving home, especially going and immersing yourself somewhere like that. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
Absolutely.
I'm also curious how you developed your style of art, because I feel like it's so like different. And I mean, if you guys haven't seen her art, you definitely have to check it out. First of all, on Twitter, ArinaBB Art. She also has a website, ArinaBBArt.com, and you can see all of her work. But how did you develop your style, and how long does that kind of take to kind of figure out, okay, what is my style of art that I really want to go for here?
Well, I never was looking for a style, so I guess that helped. And first 2 years that I was just painting home was just me. Just I never, for example, I know lots of artists use reference photos when they paint or when they draw. I never done it. I was just kind of staring at the canvas, and whatever I see little characters in it, so I just kind of outline it. And because I never learned how to draw or never went to art school, so I didn't have some strict technique. So sometimes it gets very like wobbly or weird and very raw. So that just doing it over and over and over and over again. And so first 2 years, I would say it was like pretty dark paintings that I did. In the website, I have like the thing, it's called Darker. So those paintings are my early stage. So they were very dark and very, say mushy in some ways, because I could not mix colors properly. So it was just very just kind of over there. So, but because again, didn't use reference photos, and I just did it every single day over and over and over again, until eventually, I would say on a year 3, I realized what was the easiest way for me to paint and how I wanted to do it. And for acrylic paintings, I would always outline the character in the black lines. I never do it with the oil paintings. Oil paintings is a little bit different style I have with it, but it's still, you can definitely see my hand there. But with acrylic paintings, I always love outlining things in black. And I always recommend also artists, when they just starting out, to not use reference photos and just kind of let yourself be you, because that's the easiest way to find the most authentic self, and just do it every single day, and eventually it's gonna come out. It's just a matter of time.
That's interesting. Yeah, because we had Claire Salvo on, and she was saying like most artists use reference photos. Like it's really hard to not use any type of reference photo for your work. And you're saying like, I just draw what's in my head or what I'm like seeing on the canvas and outline it and all that. So yeah.
So when I take commissions from people, when I paint somebody, I ask them to send me their photos, their playlist that they're listening to recently, and tell me themselves. Yeah. So I would listen to their music while I paint. And before I paint, I would like intensely stare at their picture for as long as I can. And then I stare at the canvas, and whatever I see, I then like paint, but I don't stare at their picture. Like I don't try to copy pasta it on the canvas. So
That's
I guess
interesting.
that would definitely bring out your style if you just do this way.
Interesting. So then when did you start, or how did you start incorporating NFTs? Because I know you were, for a while you were minting NFTs and then it would like come with the physical version, which that was a thing a lot of artists were doing as well. Then you dabbled into AI art and all these other, you have a bunch of different collections that you've done. And yeah, like I guess what's your favorite way of kind of converting your work to an NFT?
So when I just started out with NFTs, I would get my canvas paintings that I did. So I have professional photographs of every single one of them that I've done, and I would just animate them in some weird ways. Like for example, I would take the character's face and kind of make their lips move, and or like the different parts of the canvas move, so it feels like the character is trying to get out of from the canvas. They're all on Rarible. So my first mints, they're all on Rarible and like Foundation. So those you can like see, they're kind of very moving. I think I should honestly go back to it because that looked like pretty cool. But then when I minted it on Rarible, one of the pieces, the collector, after collecting, contacted me and he asked if he can get a physical with it, if I have physicals, because he saw my website. And I said yes, I actually, for this one, I still have the painting in my home. So this moment I realized that you can pair NFTs and canvas paintings, because at the time it felt like, so back in 2021, early the February, March, it was all like astronauts or 3D art, the people. So it felt as there wasn't place for canvas paintings in NFTs, that you have to be some sort of digital in some ways. So, but that collector and his urge to get my canvas painting made me realize that you can pair it, and that you don't have to go anything crazy, and you can just be your fully authentic self and just do whatever. And that inspired me to create the ManManLaiZzz collection, which is also now put me in different positions. There's like different topic of, at the time, as an artist, you didn't really it wasn't resources like Manifold and other things. So if you do not code, you do OpenSea lazy minting, and that's how I know many artists started their collections like that. And that's how I started my ManManLaiZzz collection, which is NFTs and just NFTs and canvas painting pairings. And my goal was to kind of document my entire artistic career on the blockchain from the moment I started, and to put there 2,222 paintings. So when I kind of calculated, and I was like, oh, it's going to take like 7 to like maybe 10 years to finish this collection. And so I started it, but now with 2 years passed by, and this collection like have pretty big volume, and then like Mike Tyson, Kit Grossman collected from this collection, but now it's on OpenSea's contract, and I'm like, so now I'm still, I have not minted anything there yet, again, because I'm just trying to decide if I should just migrate this whole collection to my own contract, and just transfer all these things, all of the things that collectors collected to them, and like airdrop it to them, but then it would not have
the provenance.
Yes, exactly. It's like, I'm like, if I do that, then it just changes the whole thing. And it's like that ManManLaiZzz collection have this iconic moment of Mike Tyson from his verified account collecting it. It was such a huge thing for me at the time, and I was so freaking out. And like migrating it, and again, starting over from a scratch, it's just like, but then at the same time, it's not on your smart contract, and having collection that you're planning to have for 7-10 years, that's really risky to be dependent on OpenSea.
Totally.
So I'm waiting, and I'm hoping that they're going to come up with some sort of structure where they can maybe somehow let artists like transfer it and be their own contracts. So I don't know if it's like in the works or if it's too far away to even think about it, or if it's even possible or not. But I really hope that it's gonna happen, because I know many artists are in a similar position.
Yeah, a lot of artists are struggling with this. I've said before, but Justin Aversano's Twin Flames is on the OpenSea shared contract. So there's a lot for sure.
What is he doing with that? Is he like living it there? What's happening?
There's I'm not sure exactly what he's gonna do. I've heard a few rumors, but no one said anything or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess people are just kind of waiting it out.
Waiting
right
it out,
now.
trying to figure out. Yeah, for sure.
Because it's a weird position to be in with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you have Manifold, which obviously changed the game. Have you used that at all yet?
Yes. I used it when this whole SBF situation happened with FTX. So I wanted to do like a free open edition mint to kind of cheer up the space, because the entire timeline was gloomy, and I thought it would be a fun thing to do. So nice. That was my Manifold journey, and it's really, really nice what they're doing. What they're doing. And like this year too, I found a platform called Bueno.
Yep, very familiar.
Also so helpful for artists. Like you can launch, if I want tomorrow to launch 10K profile picture without like searching for the developer. It's just so nice, because to me, when back in again 2021, I was thinking about doing some small collection, but still with like 1,000, maybe 500 of artworks. But firstly, I could not find a developer. I also wasn't sure like how to even approach, like, and then how does the compensation part works, like how much percentage I give to them. And I tried to reach out to some people who did launch their projects, and I was like, hey, what was the split? Can you please share so I can understand like what's the price points? And like nobody would tell me that. I don't know why it was so gatekeeped. Maybe I needed to reach out to more people, but like reaching out to a couple people and not getting a response is, I guess, kind of discouraged me at the time. And I didn't push hard enough to keep on searching for developer, like just trying to talk with people. And I also kind of love doing things on my own. So already collaborating with somebody, it was already for me like, oh, huge thing. So I'm very happy that platforms like Bueno right now exist, when you can just on your own do everything.
Yeah, Bueno does a good job. Corey Van Loo did the entire Rug Radio 20,000 piece art generation on Bueno.
No way.
Yep.
I didn't know that. That's so
They
cool.
put it out themselves, like on their own website, but Bueno does the art generation. They can do that, just that part of it.
Yeah. That's really, really nice. And I'm also happy that it's like artists who started it, and it's that's incredible.
Yeah.
Is it bueno.art?
Yep.
Is that the site? Okay. Maybe we'll have to link that for people to check out. I had never heard of that before. I'm just like looking into it now.
I'm everywhere trying to spread a word about it, because when I discovered it, it was just such a huge relief to me, knowing that if I get some crazy idea and I want to release some project, I can do this. And then when I got this idea with my AI project, I was like, wow, being able to just execute on it without going through those extra steps on finding a developer and trying to communicate with them was very, very nice.
Let's talk about your AI project now that you bring it up. Playing chess, right? So you took one piece of art that you painted and turned that using AI into 420 pieces. How'd that go down? So tell us about that.
Well, that was lots of fun. Again, being in my own head a lot, I did not know that other artists hated AI, because I kind of assumed that everyone would welcome it because it's such a useful tool, and no matter what you do, it can evolve your work and help you out. And this argument that like, oh, it's using this, apparently later on I found out that so many artists were hating on it and using argument of AI like stealing other artists' work. And so let me get it straight. Like, yes, you cannot copy somebody else's work completely and say it's your own. So of course not. But what AI does, it's not this. And we're, as an artist, we stand on the shoulders of generations of previous artists. And that's what AI is doing right now too, standing on the shoulders of previous generations. Like, you cannot copy pasta, obviously, somebody else's work and say it's yours, but like, we're all inspired by each other. We're all inspired by what's happening around us, and seeing that many people do not view it the same way, that they only see it as a threat, really triggered something in my brain. And I just wanted to show by example that this is okay. Your art is not threatened. Like if you are good at marketing and if you have your own art style, you're going to be fine. Just keep on doing your thing. So I took my canvas painting, completely original work, and I ran it through AI, and it gave me different versions of it. And another cool part for me was that every single time that it runs, it gives you a new image, and it will never ever be repeated again. Even if I run the same canvas painting through it, it's not going to be exact same results. So you cannot replicate it in exactly same manner. So that excited me so much. And just going through the process of from at the end, from 1,000 pictures, picking 420 and just staring at them, some of the pieces inspired me so much that I wanted to paint them. So the version of AI that of my painting, I want to paint it, and obviously I'm not going to be able to completely replicate what AI did because of my style of painting. So it's kind of infinite loop of art that you can create. So you run your painting, then you get inspired from what your AI gave you, then you use this AI painting to create another painting. It's like inspiration generator. And after I did that, I thought as a trait for collection, I wanted to put my thoughts. So it's like a character. You, as a collector, you sit down to play chess with a character, and the trait is a thought, and it's like a conversation starter that the character tells you as a collector when you're sitting down to play with her. And some pieces were, I was writing those traits in 2 weeks, and some of them reflects my mood. Sometimes I was like sad, sometimes some days I was happy, and some of them are really random because I put whatever I overheard on Twitter Spaces. And they, like, some of them would make no sense, but I wanted to put those Twitter Spaces notes because I wanted part of NFT community to be within the collection this way. Some of them also as a traits, I posted a tweet, and whatever people commented was a couple comments, and I put them as a traits too. So that was pretty cool things. And then when it minted out, I created a Twitter group chat just for the holders, and people started playing actual chess with each other there. So now we have our own chess club, Web3 chess club. And I used the playing chess as a life metaphor. So for me, it was just very metaphorical how, like, life is a huge game of chess. And I also thought it's going to be any crazy idea you can come up with in the future, you definitely can incorporate it in this game, because it gives you such a huge room. So I named it Playing Chess, but then people think that I can play chess very well, and everybody always trying to like have a match with me, and I do not play chess. And when I just started up, I don't know why I did not think that people are gonna think that I play chess. But yeah, so now I'm learning how to play chess too. So that what came out of this collection. Pretty cool.
The collection is so cool. I'm going through them and looking at the traits. They have good names. That's really, really a neat, unique, interesting collection. I love AI. I say it all the time. I mean, it's expanding so fast, and like every time you look up, there's a new program doing something new, cool. My wife was trying to make for her job, like design this like wall of records, and I was like, do it in Midjourney, and she typed out this whole thing, and she got 4 examples that were like sick looking, and she sent them in, and they were like, "Oh my god, how'd you make that?" Like, really, it's
yeah, that's
amazing.
really, really nice.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, I hope more people are gonna give it a chance and be like more open-minded with that. So it was really
They're not
nice.
gonna have a choice.
Oh, yeah,
People aren't gonna have a choice.
Yeah,
It's just gonna be
absolutely.
It's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah, I also right now do basically a redeeming thing where if you hold 16 pieces, you can get a canvas painting from me for free.
Love that. Yeah.
And for like 8 pieces, you can get a digital painting from me. And that also just made me realize that I love to create. So creating, it comes really easy for me. Marketing stuff it's like an actual hard job. So I was thinking that I would much rather spend like some months with a direct goal of marketing by creating one collection, and then in peace just giving people for free a canvas paintings. And that was my thought a couple of weeks ago until this whole royalty thing, because now it's not sustainable anymore. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of sad. Even though I didn't promise to anyone that's going to be for this collection, like art was utility, but I thought it would be nice to just do once a month some redeeming thing for physical stuff or like different things. And now with royalties being gone, I'm like, well, we're gonna do a first wave of redeemings, and then we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But that also showed another good thing of the space. Had collectors contacting me, and they're like, "Hey, I'm not sure if the royalties was paid or not. I just collected your playing chess. Like, do you want me to like send you some ETH as a royalty?" I'm like, no, it's like on the seller side. I was like, explain. But the fact that people are reaching out and trying to figure out how the royalties thing works as a collector, it was really heartwarming for me, and it's really inspired me too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of people they want to pay collector royalties to collectors that it's like, you're an individual artist and like you're creating your own stuff. I feel like they don't want to pay royalties if it's like
Azuki,
Bored Apes, like some just big project type of thing versus like an artist, I mean, that's my feel of things. But
I think in the future it's gonna be in OpenSea, maybe they're gonna do some sort of thing where it's gonna be like a categories within the royalties too, where they're gonna like put a little bit more work into protecting one-on-one artists or like smaller collections. So that can be different levels, because like mixing this two, the 10Ks and the smaller individual artists, it should not be in place like this, because like one artist, seriously, just trying to survive here. Come on now.
Yeah. Okay. So I have one last question before we kind of wrap this up, and I'm sure Michael has a question as well. But my last question is kind of a fun one. I know you talked about Mike Tyson collecting your art, which was very exciting. So we're going to have to exclude that from this. But what is one of the most exciting things that has happened to you in your NFT career?
So many things, actually. Like first thing popped up in mind was, I guess because it was very recent, that I found out that I was featured in Fortune, and like my art and Fortune, and then I knew that, but Forbes, I didn't know about it, and I just figured out just recently, and the article's been out for like 6 months, and I accidentally found out just by I was updating my website, and I created NFT page there, and I just wanted to make sure that it works, so I googled ArinaBB NFTs to see if my website is there, and here I see a Rolling Stone. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know it happened. So I clicked, I was like, whoa, my name is there, yay. And then I decided to scroll to see what else I missed, and there was a like Forbes featured the name and like my artworks there. We did a drop with Red. It was charity drop, and it was so nice. And it also came to me where couple days after my Discord got hacked, and the 2 years that I spent into building my Discord, it was just completely gone. It's gone now, and we had to manually ban every single user, and I had to delete every single channel, and just sitting there and deleting it one by one and seeing your work just being disappearing, it was really hard for me. And that's when I saw the Forbes thing, and it just made me feel so inspired again, and it made me feel like it just keep on going, that's fine. So that was really huge. And I guess my artwork being displayed on a Times Square billboard also, it's like a huge milestones that are just hard to believe they're happening. It's just so nice.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, you really accomplished a lot in this space, and it's so awesome to be able to, see your journey. Like I said, I've been following you for a while. We met in person like a year ago. I forget what party that was.
It was in Miami, and I think it was Proof, maybe.
Was it? Okay, yeah, it was some type of...
I remember the space. I remember the space, though. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we met again at the Pudgy Penguins, I think. Yeah. Briefly. I ran into you.
I met Claire Silver also at that party where I met you.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Wait. Somebody else told me they met her at that party. And I'm like, why
came up to me. She was like, Arina. And I'm like, yeah, she's
what
like,
the heck?
Claire. I was like, oh my God.
That is crazy. And nobody knows what she looks like. Yeah, she's not doxed.
Wonderful.
So
yeah, that was very special.
Yeah.
And I think another thing also that like highlights highlight of my career is just making these friendships that I built in the Web3 space. It's also another thing that completely always warms my heart and made me realize how many wonderful people are there and just how many talented people are there, and just that you are not alone, that there is a community and that you can just be part of it and help each other. So that's also another thing that I think is a huge thing of this couple of years was in NFT space.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Michael?
Well, yeah, no, Arina, this was really fun. We appreciate you coming on. Usually the last question I ask people, I'd like to give you a chance to shout out any artists that you really like, that you think should have some light shined on them.
Well, first name came up as like Claire, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Which is being exhibited in Louvre.
Yeah, she's people know about her.
She got a good spotlight. Another beautiful artist, Amber Victoria.
Oh, and we had her on the show a while ago.
She's awesome. Yep.
Yeah. Who else?
I put you on the spot. I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
My brain is like now like super empty. I can send you you the Twitters.
You gave a couple
Twitter
good
handle.
ones. That's all good. It's all good. Well, it was a pleasure, and hopefully our paths will cross at some point. But thank you so much for coming on. I'll let Jenny take it out.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
Yes, thank you, Arina. Hopefully everybody listening to this enjoyed this episode. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFT Catcher podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new about the exciting world of NFTs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really love what you're hearing, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights from the NFT space, be sure to follow us on all the socials at NFT Catcher Pod. You can follow Jennifer at Jennifer_pseudo and Michael at NFTicket. I'm your producer, Andy, and I'm at AJC254. Our theme song's by It's Just Los. We always appreciate your feedback and support, which helps us reach more people and bring you informative and engaging content about NFTs. We look forward to bringing you more great NFT content in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Peace.